So, what's your deal?
My deal? I'm just a regular guy with a regular job, but I've got this condition where I don't feel pain.
Oh my god, you're a superhero.
No.
3 words to describe Novocaine. Love, chaos, the hospital. Hola, ¿cómo estás? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great and so happy to be able to talk to you about Novocaine. I think this movie is so much fun, but also it is fun to watch. You guys, you know, the chemistry between Jack and you is amazing. How do you describe this kind of relationship they have you guys have in the movie, your characters?
I mean, that's my favorite thing about this movie. I love Sherry and Nate together, and I think their love is so special. It's really, I think if you need to love them together to be a part of Nate's whole journey in this movie. As like silly and crazy and insane as it is, that it doesn't work and it doesn't hit you without that. I think the unexpected thing of this movie is how much heart is in it, and it really, that's the source of it.
Yeah, totally. Because the action is brutal, it's very raw, but also there's this part that just say like, I just did for an scene, and now I'm like, oh my god, I love them.
Yeah, it was, and that was like so much of our initial. Most of our most like emotional and close scenes were like our first week of filming, so we really got like thrown in the deep end very quickly.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. And you met him before that, or?
We only met after we had both signed on to this film. We have a mutual friend in Dan Trachtenberg, who directed Prey and directed the first episode of The Boys, who had kind of both like been in both of our ears, like saying that, you know, the other person is great and you should work with them and whatever. And so we'd been trying to connect for literally years and never did until this movie.
Oh, that's amazing. And how can you describe it?
It's an action movie, but it's also, I mean, it's part rom-com, it's part action thriller, it's part drama, it's everything you need and more. It's also an insane gore action. Jack Quaid was describing it as like an action movie for horror fans, and I fully think that is the best way to describe this movie.
Of course it is. I haven't thought about it. Why I didn't thought about that? I wanted to ask you about that because that's great. What else about the filming this movie? Do you have some kind of funny thing that happened during the filming that you want to share with us? Some kind of secret, the behind the scenes that we should know about, like a glove of something burned or something. I don't know. There's so much things.
I mean, yeah, there was just so much crazy stuff happening all the time. You know, like Jack's character obviously goes through so many different bodily injuries that just kind of like walking into the hair and makeup trailer every day and seeing like several different versions of a fried hand on the table. Like the fact that became normal at any point is insane.
Totally, because that hand, you're gonna see it and you're gonna be like, I don't want to see that hand ever again.
Yeah. The first time I saw it in person on his hand, I was definitely like, oh my god! And what's more alarming is that at some point you just become used to like, oh yeah, and the fried hand, moving on.
And also, you know what? The movie ended up, and I was like, now, are we gonna see a second part of this movie? I need it. I mean, what are you guys doing here in Miami? You should be starting filming.
You're right, we should be filming.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
I think it's so much fun. I mean, this chemistry and this will continue. I mean, this is not a spoiler. I want them to be together forever.
Me too. Let's make more Novocaines.
Careful, dude. You can still die. You're not Wolverine.
¿Qué ver? Con MaVi Gangi.